Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Patty G Show, brought to you by our wonderful partners, Velocity Partners Group. We are in studio this week with Jen Gomez of the Joyful Strategist. We start talking a little bit about how to lean in to some fumbles and stumbles along the way that ultimately make your path all the more relatable and better for those around you, as well as how to draft a letter as a 16-year-old to get your neighborhood behind you for a good cause. All that to come in this episode of the Patty G Show, brought to you by our wonderful partners and sponsors, Velocity Partners Group, Falia Real Estate, Lakeman's Health Center, and you know it, PB&J Productions. Enjoy the show.
So I go up on the stage before we begin, and I put my flip chart in the easel behind the step and repeats, and then they announce me, and I have to come up there and like get my stuff from behind the step and repeats.
They didn't have anybody to like walk out and put it on stage.
I was like, this is a shit show. So I get on the mic. I'm like, hey everyone, just a moment.
I need to get my stuff real quick.
Get my stuff real quick. Give me just a minute. And so they're like, what? Because they hyped me up, music, all this stuff. I was like, just a minute. Grabbed my stuff, set it all up. Of course, it's crooked because I have half a millisecond to get this done. And so I'm flipping it. And in my head, I'm just like, please, Jesus, please let it just stay.
Wait,
stay
so you
on
got to flip it back to the beginning?
So I'm like, as I'm doing my keynote, I'm like flipping through it because I didn't do slides. I was going to use this flip chart instead. It was a choice.
Bold choice.
Like this bold choice of being the sunshine in your office right now, along with the chair. But it was a bold choice and I felt really convicted about it. And I mean, there was this woman in the front row and she goes, like, didn't even ask, just comes on the stage and grabs the flip chart and it's like, I'm going to hold this for you. Like, we're nervous that it's going to, I think it actually fell. No, it fell. That's what happened. It fell. And then the easel was standing up and I was holding it as I was finishing my keynote.
How big is this?
Oh, we're talking a big one.
So like a full on, like,
it was
like two, like what, 1.5 by 3 or something?
Yes,
okay.
It was a big one.
Yeah.
It was big. And I have photos of this just wonderful experience. And
is it on your social?
I don't know that I put that one. I should. I'm going to. Okay. I'm going to, just because we talked about this today. But I have other photos from that, but not me holding the flip chart. But I should. And so I'm like flipping this flip chart, and this woman comes up and she's like, "Let me hold that for you so you can talk." And so now she's and I'm doing a bit the whole time, right? I'm like, we're like laughing, and I'm very interactive whenever I do keynotes.
You've played into the fact that you're making this decision to use this flip chart.
Oh yeah, and it's just
it's
all
now
a bit.
A prop.
It's all a bit, like the whole time. And so then the easel collapses
naturally,
and everybody in the audience, I mean, we're talking 350 people. I was like, those in the front, beware of the splash zone. There may be things flying at your faces. You know, like it was just all a bit. It was hysterical. And the whole time I'm like, if anyone is keynote speaking, do not bring a flip chart. I will not be bringing a flip chart ever again. This was a choice. But anyways, it all was fine in the end. I got through the whole talk and everybody was laughing. And like I said, people afterwards were like, please come talk to our group. Like, you were so funny. You were so like resonated, you know, it's something different. It's not some boring person who's going to tell you a story that's going to make you cry.
Well, and you had a choice too. You could have either embraced the not disaster, but the additional factor that the flip chart provided, or you could have just been like, you know what, this is not working. We're abandoning it altogether.
Oh no, I leaned in.
Right, so you leaned in, which I think is the better route to take. You always lean into the issues that arise during presentations or speeches or whatever it may be, and never do that shy away. Because it's when you're up on a stage, right? People forget how time sensitive silence is. Mm-hmm. And it's like you don't recognize it as much in the audience. You're like, oh, this was like 5 seconds, like whatever, big deal. But when you're presenting, you're like, those 5 seconds felt like a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And if it's quiet and you're just like fumbling with this stuff, you're just okay, this is not how it's supposed to be. In your head, you're like, this is not good. Instead of me thinking of the audience naked, now they see me naked, trying to be vulnerable and position this, and it all goes awry. And then you're just like, nope, this is happening, everybody.
I definitely did. I was like, we are on this journey together, and we are going to just keep going.
keep moving forward.
I have a message for you, and you are going to hear it, and we're all going to just be okay.
Yeah, message is being adaptive.
Well, right? In a moment. So that's what you'll hear about this in a little while, I'm sure. But that's what the book that I'm writing is all about, is joy in the chaos.
Joy in the... Okay, so I don't know what... We haven't gotten there yet, but if the cover of your book is not the picture of you holding that, you're missing an opportunity here.
Done.
Like, Done. I'm just...
Credit, Patty G. Will like you write the foreword?
Sure, whatever you need me to do. Like, just having that photo on there, I think would capture whatever's going to be. And I have no idea what's in this book, but I feel like it would capture the whole thing.
Oh my gosh. There I was, keynote speaking in front of 350 people, and my flip chart collapses.
Yep.
And then down goes the easel as well.
And I even then, if you have illustrations in the book, have somebody animate that like a cartoon, like a classic cartoon.
Wait, will you animate it?
I cannot animate.
Patty
G? You don't want me animating. Unless you like stick figure animation.
I mean, it might be a good fit. Can your kids do it?
Potentially.
Maybe my kids can. We can just, we'll
get your kids
a coloring book.
Yeah. Make it a coloring book, and just, you want to like illustrate it. So just cute. Like a classic cartoon. So I think cute. It would be a nice little touch.
So cute. So cute. Goodness gracious. So are we starting? Are we started?
We're in it.
We're in it right now?
We're in it.
Oh my God.
That's the opening right there. That's the opening bit.
Swoosh.
You nailed it.
Done and done.
So now let's back up, because that clearly wasn't your first keynote, because never would you imagine your first keynote deciding to use a flip chart.
Goodness.
You got to work up some confidence to get to that level.
Well.
Unless, dare I say, you were so bold on your first keynote presentation.
No, it wasn't my first, but I'll tell you where this all started was I actually was a stage actor for years.
Okay.
So I know, surprise.
Hang on, let's back up. How did you become a stage actor?
So I was a stage actor. The earliest moments that I can remember is my mom would put on these movies, these old classic movies like Calamity Jane and Gone with the Wind and Gypsy. And I just remember
great movies,
like loving their love of life. And if it was a musical, the only time that they would sing was when they had such a deep emotion that they just couldn't stand it anymore, and they would just burst out into song. And I just had such a connection with that. And so I was probably in third grade when I started doing little acting things. I think my first role was a dog. I was just like a little puppy dog. And I just continued being in theater. I mean, I was a thespian. I competed and was in choir as well. And it was my space where I just felt most at home. My home was not very secure, not good foundation. I was a single mom. And we moved a lot, and she did the best she could, but she just couldn't be there all the time. And so that was my space where I really felt at home. And so I was a senior in high school and really on my own at that point. I was living with my best friend's parents. And one of my teachers was like, hey, do you want to go to Louisiana and audition at Northwestern? See if you can get a scholarship there. And I was like, well, I really have nothing
Why not?
else going for me. Sure. And I ended up getting a full ride to go and be in the theater department there. And yeah. And so then I was like, okay, this is a career. Like this is real.
You're in it now.
I'm in it. And I actually was on the I think this is another thing that I would 1,000,000,000% tell every single person in business or otherwise to do is get into improv. So I was in improv comedy all 4 years of my college time. And by my senior year, I was like, I will be the captain of the troop. I have been on this troop for all 4 years. I will be the captain. And they were like, okay, Jen, I guess
you're the only one really trying to overpush somebody else to be captain. We're all kind of like, well, great. Who's going to be it next year? And you're like,
that doesn't tell you a little bit. I think that they were going to name somebody else the captain too. I was like, no. I've been here all 4 years. I have seniority.
I've earned the right to
tell you a little bit about me. But I just pushed. I'm like, no. But that was really the start of my love for the stage. But was so interesting is I never saw myself as like a theater kid. Mm-hmm. You know, there are some people that are so obsessed where they listen to shows in their car and they have posters all over their rooms. And I was never really that person. I was more obsessed with the study of humans and the study of our emotions and connection. And so flash forward, or fast forward, flash forward, fast.
I think we flash back. We flash forward.
There we go. Okay.
Maybe.
In the mix with 2026, right? All right. So yes. Fast forward to now, I knew that that's what I needed to get back into. I needed to get back on the stage. I needed to take everything that I had experienced over these past 20 years in my career and teach people how to do it.
But what are you doing in the middle there, right? So like you go to Northwestern, you get you're in improv, you're in acting and all this stuff. But like what happens in the middle to get to the point where you're like, I'm going to do this thing, do the Joyful Strategist. Like that's where I'm going to head. What was that build up?
How much time do we have?
We have as much time as we need.
Let us check our skin watches.
Let me check my watch.
Okay, so I found myself after it really ties back to my sophomore year. I met my now husband, and he was older. He graduated, moved out to LA. He had kind of established a life out there. Long story. Okay. But so he moved out to LA. And by the time I graduated, we had kind of been dating off and on those 2.5 years. And so by the time I graduated, I moved out to LA as well. But I had been auditioning for different theaters around the country. And so I was maybe in LA for about 3 months, started working at some like event venue, just bottom of the barrel. And I get a call, and it's one of the theaters I auditioned for. And they said, Jen, we need you to come and fill this role. And it's a 5-month gig. And I was so floored.
Is that a long time, 5-month gig?
After being long distance with somebody for 2.5 years, yes. He would not talk to me for 2 days because I took this job.
Oh.
I know. He was so upset because we had...
he was upset that you took the job.
Yes, because it had been 2.5 years since we finally were at this point where we were together. We went through long distance dating is not for...
Oh, so the theater was away from LA.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. It was in Pennsylvania.
Oh, my gosh.
It was in Pennsylvania. So you can only imagine he was like, but you're finally here and you're going to go take this job. And it was for like no money. It was like $100 a week. But they had like all my food was taken care of. All my lodging was taken care of. So it's like, here's a little lagniappe, you know?
Yeah. We're supporting your living.
Yes.
And if you want to go and buy a cup of coffee, here's $100.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. So I'm up there. And this is just serendipitous. He, maybe like month 4-ish, I'm like auditioning in New York and I call him. I'm like, I'm not coming back. I love this life so much. I'm surrounded by people that energize me, a world that energizes me. I can't come back. I need to live here. I need to do this. And around that same time, maybe a few weeks later, he was working for a production company. And the production company said, hey, we have a job in North Carolina or something, but we need you to drive there. We need you to drive all of this equipment across the country because it would be too expensive to fly it. And we need it really, really quick. So he asks a friend, hey, can you come drive with me? They drive across the country and he tells the friend, Jennifer's 7 hours away. I need to go like try to win her back. And so he drives.
It's like a Jim and Pam moment.
I'm telling you, our life is like a movie. But he drives 7 hours north, and I so vividly remember this. He was like, you don't have to do this. You can do all of this in LA. And I've already looked up agents. I've looked up theaters. I've looked up all of these different things just so that you can come back and we can be together. And in that moment, I was like, well, I mean, you're the man I'm going to marry. Of course, I'm going to come back. Like, nobody does all of this. This doesn't just happen. And so after that gig, they asked me to extend it. And I said no. And when I got back, this is so ridiculous, but I was like, I can never be an actor again. Because I almost lost the person who like loved me the most.
Yeah.
And so it was a very black and white. Like I maybe did like a couple of things, but it was not something I had pursued like I pursued before. And so that's when like my whole life shifted. And I was a PA, a production assistant and nanny for his boss. Really cool little nugget that is insane. We love little things like this because they're just so peculiar. But the people that we worked for, Kirsten and Doug Emhoff is the husband of Kamala Harris. So like we were like working with Doug, we know Doug. And so whenever Kamala Harris like became vice president of the United States, we were like, what is this world? What is this life? How do we know all these people? It was crazy. It was crazy. But so that was really when the start of my leadership journey started, because I went back to the place where I was working at the bottom of the barrel back in LA. And within 3 months, they were like, hey, do you want to become a manager of this organization? And
that was quick.
Very quick. Very, very, very quick. But I know that I was given that opportunity because of everything I had endured prior to that, right? My theater training, my ability to sell myself, my ability to be confident in moments that I was unsure about. It goes back to what you were saying before of like, lean in, just lean in, because it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So just lean in. And I was always, this is going to be kind of a part of the book. Like if you're trying to find joy in the chaos, you have to be the joy in the chaos. You have to own that moment. And so that's how I've been at every moment of my life, just very intentional, even if it was not the best decisions. I was very intentional. My mom will tell you, she's like, yeah, that one weekend when I left town and you threw a massive party. I was like, but I did go house to house and give them a letter of intent and say that the noise was going to be down by 10 p.m. So I was very intentional about it. I was...
Please don't call the cops till 10:15.
I did. And let me tell you, it was nobody around us that called the cops, but my aunt who was driving by. She called the cops.
She went to go check on the house to make sure you were okay. And
yeah, the one person I did not give a letter to.
So what? Hang on. I want to just soak in this little moment here. So I'm assuming this is like high school age.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll put the supply acquisition to the side. The letter, what did it say?
Oh, goodness. It was something to the extent of, and I remember making one and then making copies. Okay. And I literally went door to door.
Was it a handwritten note?
Yes.
And then you just made copies of the handwritten?
And if they weren't home, I would leave it in their mailbox. So I made sure that I covered all of my bases.
Okay. And so how far spread across? Like, are we talking you went 4 homes, 5 homes, the whole street?
Yeah, I went my whole street and the streets like behind me and in front of me. It was
holy smokes.
I'm telling you, I'm like probably like about 30 homes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what's on this letter?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. It all started because I got a call or a text. I don't know if I feel like we had text messaging back then. It's like 15, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 40, so I was 16. That's 25 years ago. I think I had Snake on my phone. I think we have
25 years to 2001. So
we have text messaging.
You were paying per text, but there was text messaging.
I remember that. Okay, so I got a text or a call from somebody saying, Jen, like, why me? Why are they calling me? I don't know. I guess I'm just that. I just put out that energy.
You had that energy of, they said, I will host a party if my parents are out of town.
Yes, that Genergy.
Yeah. Genergy. Genergy,
I went
title
there.
of the show.
Bring the Genergy 2026. So I get this call or this text, and they're like, Jen, we have these bands that we're supposed to play at this field, but the field is rained out. Like, we can't play at this field anymore.
Bands,
and I'm
plural
like,
bands.
Uh-huh. Okay. And I'm like, well, my mom's out of town this weekend. Do you guys just want to play at my house? Like, if that's cool with you?
How big is this house?
It was.
I mean, I know the 80s and 90s were a wild time for home purchasing, but
maybe a 3-bedroom.
Okay.
So I so vividly remember this. I get that call or that text or the whatever as I'm at the nail salon with my mom. Okay. So now this is why I went into acting, because I just am playing it cool, just totally chill, playing it cool and being like, yeah, cool. Yeah. You can just come to my house and like play at my house. So then my mom leaves. She's like going to San Antonio. We're in Austin at the time. And the whole day I spend moving furniture. I move furniture. I write the letter. I go make copies of the letter. I'm like orchestrating. I'm producing this entire day.
Right.
The bands come. The house is flooded. I mean, when I tell you, hundreds of people, because they all bring their groupies. And I just look around. I was like, what the hell have I done? Like, I was in way over my head.
How many bands are we talking?
I think there were 3.
That's a lot.
It was a lot of bands. But I said, fine, if you're done by 10. You have to be done by 10.
And so what was is the letter like emotional and
it
pathetic?
Said,
like, please?
No, it was very to the point. It was like, I am hosting a party and there will be musical guests. But they will be finished by 10 p.m. Here is my phone number if you have questions. I'm very, like, noise ordinance is very important. I understand that. But like, please know that I'm notifying you ahead of time that it will be loud. But I like took any liquor bottles out. I tried to be responsible about it.
So you tried to hide out, remove the alcohol.
Removed alcohol, removed anything that could be like breakable. I was very responsible about it.
Okay. Did you get any phone calls?
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to hear them if I did.
No. Like, did they call you beforehand to inquire about information?
No.
Were some of them like, why wasn't I invited?
No, everyone was very much like, thank you so much for letting us know.
Did any of them call your mom and was like, your daughter, she's throwing a party and we just appreciate her awareness?
No, honestly, that would have been nice though. That would have been nice.
Instead of having your aunt drive by and call the cops.
That was horrible.
So what happened?
So the cops show up.
Okay.
The cops show up and I literally walk of shame to my aunt's car. She's like, get in the car.
So she wanted you to leave the home with everybody in it.
Yes.
And let the cops just raid the place.
Mm-hmm. And they did.
Oh, so it actually played out
and
that
they
way.
did. And they did. Yes. And they did. And my aunt lived, y'all, this is where I'm really messed up.
Don't tell me she lived on like the street next to the last street you stopped writing letters. She did. So did she?
She did. She was on her way home and she sees all that. She's like, where? Because the cars are just rapping the whole neighborhood. And she's like, where are all these cars coming from? And she was not happy. And I just remember going to her house and being like, man, I should have just told her. Like, I should have brought her a letter. I should have told her in advance. This all would have gone to plan. And so now I'm like, okay, how can I eliminate every single risk of every single thing that I do? But it was a good experience of seeing cause and effect and trying to eliminate risk. And sometimes it just isn't possible. But you asked before how I got to where I am now, and I want to circle back to that. So I was living in LA and just kind of scaled really quickly within that organization that I was with. And we got married. My husband and I got married in 2012. And we were like, what if we move back to Baton Rouge? Like, we have family here. What if we just kind of toy around with the idea of moving back? And his sister got wind of that. She was working at LSU at the time. She was like, there's a job at the Career Center. Like, why don't you apply for it? I was like, well, I mean, I don't think I'm going to qualify, but okay, cool. Applied for it. And again, one of those serendipitous situations where I end up getting this job. They like rewrote the job description so that they could hire me, which was cool. But y'all, I was in LA world. I don't know if y'all have ever been to, I don't know if you've ever been to LA or like worked in LA, but everyone is just cutthroat. Like you're the best of the best, because if you're not, somebody will come in and take your place.
Yeah.
And so I show up to this interview, y'all. I have a binder. Of like letters of recommendation and like different
copy of the letter you wrote in high school.
Exactly.
Show how prepared you are.
This is how capable I am.
Right.
This is how I can really maneuver any sort of anything within the organization. And so I ended up getting the job, and I think they were all a little surprised. They were like, she needs to chill a little bit. Who is this girl?
I can see that.
And then I get into the position, and probably within the first year, I hear of the 40 under 40 award. And so this is really, if I can recommend anything to anyone who's like living in a new city or trying to build influence fast, it would be, it doesn't matter if you don't know I didn't know anybody, but I just started looking at who the winners of 40 under 40 were for the past 5 years and see who did I know directly or who did I have like a second or third degree of separation from. And I just reached out to them on LinkedIn, like, hey, would love to grab coffee, would love to kind of learn how you got to where you are. And so I really built my network fairly quickly, like within that first year. And just kind of continued doing that, sat on a couple boards and had a couple of different jobs from the Career Center. Are you familiar with the Student Union Theater at LSU?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
That's where we got to watch the premiere of Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh,
as
cool.
Students.
Very cool. So they were going through this massive like restructure where I don't know if you recall, like years ago, they used to have shows, right? Like it was just a totally different organization where they had like donors, and I think that they had this massive budget where they would bring in all these shows. And so this woman, a friend of mine, we sat on a board together, and she's like, hey, we need somebody to come in and like totally flip this organization where it's not producing theater house anymore. It's like a rental house. So like all the operations had to be flipped. And so I came in, I worked there for about a year, flipped it all, and it was kind of done. And so then I hopped over to the Hilton. I was doing conference detailing because at that point, I've always been very, again, intentional, detail oriented, love operations, went back to school, got my MBA during all this time because I'm just never fulfilled. Just like go. Yeah, well, and that will bring me to how I got here. So I just needed more. And I just was never quite fulfilled. Had my second son after I graduated with my MBA at LSU. Cause I just loved business. And I was like, nobody's going to take me seriously with a theater degree. I need a different type of degree that like shows that I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Which now if someone were to tell me like, do I go get an MBA? Do I not? It was an awesome 22 months. I met incredible people, and I would say if you want to do it, do it. But it's gonna just show you what you're capable of versus if you don't.
And I take kind of the same approach.
Yeah.
Like if you're all about getting it, then go get it.
Yeah.
But don't let it be the end all be all for what you think you need to be successful in life.
Correct. I agree.
Like you can get it, and being like, so I'm a CPA in the other world, right? And so generally you go and get your degree and you get either a Master of Accountancy or some folks get an MBA because you need 150 credit hours, right? And that was my plan, but then I went and did the dual degree in accounting and entrepreneurship with a minor in communications to get my 150. And I look back, and everybody that we hire, we're looking at, they're in the MAC program, in the MBA program, and they're like, should I go get it? Should I not? And it's always the same thing. It's now that I'm in the employer's shoes and I'm looking to hire folks, if I see an MBA or a MAC, I'm going to look at them a certain way. But if I see somebody that's got 2 years of experience in the profession that I'm trying to hire, I'm going to look at them in a way different way because they've got application skills.
Absolutely.
Your MBA and your Mac, you still are learning, but I haven't seen, can you apply what you're learning to the real world yet?
Absolutely.
If you held the job the whole time, then that's a different story too. It's how can you get the education and the tools, and then how well can you apply them? Because those textbook examples are textbook examples for a reason, and they're never what you're going to experience outside of the classroom.
Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Lake Men's Health Center with Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group. Guys, I know it's tough to get out and go to the doctor. I know it's challenging to find time in our busy days, but I promise you, signing up to be a part of this group with Dr. Curtis Chastain and Dr. Tyler Boudreau, you won't regret it for several reasons, but most of those being the fact of the time it saves, where you're able to get in on the same day, get that appointment done, and spend that time you need to talk with them about what your health goals and concerns are, as well as ensuring that the financial investments you have, you will be able to live out and see those come to fruition. So if you're an investing guy, you know all about and planning for the future and investing in the future. There's no other more important thing to invest in than your health. Make sure you go check them out. Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group Men's Health Center, and tell them Patty G sent you.
Completely.
For better or worse.
Yeah, completely agree. And so while I was at the Hilton getting my MBA, and I get a phone call from the chief of staff for the governor.
Okay.
And he said, "Hey, is this Jen Gomez?" "Yes."
Who wants to know?
"This is Mark Cooper with John Bell Edwards' office." I was like, "Okay." And he said, "We have an opening to work with the First Lady, and you came highly recommended." I just about fell out my chair. I was like the girl who hosted parties when she was 16.
She got a copy.
Highly
She got a
recommended.
copy of that letter.
She got a copy of the letter.
Yeah. Or
She
somebody in the
saw how
somebody in the neighborhood was like, "Oh,
She
let me
saw
tell
how
you
responsible I was.
mm-hmm. How well you could mitigate risk."
Absolutely. She really takes action. And so it turns out I was recommended by a mutual connection that we shared that I was on a board with again. And I just looked back, Patty, at all of it. This was in year 5 of me living in Baton Rouge. So I just, in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. You know, like all of those meetings that I had, all that networking that I had had, all that connecting with people, and honestly showing up. Like, if you're going to show up, then show up. Like, be the joy in the chaos. Honestly, like that is the biggest thing that I can recommend. But I was like, it worked. I've only been here for 5 years, and here's this call that I'm getting that I'm literally shocked. And I said, okay. And so I go to the governor's mansion, and I'm sweating. Like, I am sweating. And it's not even like a summer, like hot day. Like, I'm just so nervous.
All the notes are now washed off.
Oh, they're gone. Hand notes are gone. And I walk up to the governor's mansion and, knock on the door, and I check in, and I'm taken up to her office, and she's sitting there like so delicately drinking her tea, and I'm like sweating. I'm like, okay, get it together.
You're like, "Hi, nice to meet you." I'll mess that one up.
Have you ever heard of those armpit, like pads?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're amazing.
You wore them?
Well, no. And they're actually still in my Amazon cart. I need to just buy them. Like, I'm sweating right now.
It's warm in here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my hands are cold though.
Louisiana. That's the only answer I have for that.
So anyway, I see her, and she's drinking her tea, and I'm like, keep it cool, keep it cool. We had a great meeting. She ends up hiring me after the interview. And I had only been at the Hilton for 5 months. So I go to the general manager, and I was like, and I already had a plan for like world domination within the Hilton. Okay. Of course. I was like, I'm the captain. You have to make me the captain.
This will be my Hilton.
This will be my... Well, so they are managed by a bigger company. And so I was like already having meetings with the VPs of that management company to be like, I'm going to manage all the Hiltons. Yeah. I'm taking over world domination. And so I tell the general manager, and he was like, the first lady, you're really going to go work for the first lady and not work here anymore? Like being joking. But I was like, yeah, I am. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Not everybody gets to see an executive office like that. And so I left and worked for her for 6 out of the 8 years that they were in office. So, and then during that time, I had my second son as well. That was a super interesting conversation, like walking into her office and being like, so, I'm pregnant.
One thing we never discussed about my employment details, what's maternity leave?
Yeah, is that even a thing? You know, I don't know if anyone watching has ever worked in an executive office. It is just different. It's like they never take off, so therefore you never really take off. And it was one of the hardest but most fulfilling jobs of my entire career, because I would tell my husband, like, I would walk into work, kind of black out, and then as soon as I came out of work, I'd be like, what just happened?
Where did those 8, 10, 12 hours go?
Exactly. So I had a staff of 30. It's a fully functioning, so I was over operations of the entire governor's mansion. And then later on, I would run the Executive Governor's Mansion Foundation, the Preservation Foundation. And as they were transitioning out, which is also like, could write a book on, like, just transitioning of powers. Fascinating, like on so many levels, so fascinating. Yeah. But as they were transitioning out and the new administration was transitioning in, there wasn't really any clear directive of where I was gonna go. And so that last 6 months was really chaotic, right? Because we're having to kind of shove all of these events and meetings and closing of ties and all of these things into those last 6 months. And I thought it would be a great idea, Patty, to just run a female leadership retreat as well. Like, just have my own business. Yeah. You know, it was that summer. I was like, there are so many women that are, I was bored. I really was. I was bored. Like, between the hours of 8 and 5, I mean, very much just balls to the wall. But after 5 p.m., I was just like, what am I going to do with all this energy? I need to do something. And I remember sitting at a table with some of my girlfriends. And I love y'all if you're listening, but they were just so unhappy and they were all complaining. And I was like, I know how to produce an event. I know so many people in the leadership space. I know that I can really pull something together that could be transformational for these women. I did not even tell you, during the whole 6 years that I was at the governor's office, I had just finished my MBA. And I was sitting in the tub and I was listening to this book, like some self-help audiobook, and he was cursing a lot. So I will not say those choice words, but this audiobook is like, you have your life in your own hands. Go take care of it. Nobody's going to take care of it for you. And it was in that moment I was like, okay, like, I need to do something that fulfills me, because as much as I loved what I was doing, it was not fulfilling me for some reason. And maybe I was just in that weird, like, 35 midlife moment where I was like, who am I? What's my purpose? You know, which I find is very normal now. Like, the more that I talk to people, the more that I realize that, like, mid 30s and then, like, kind of retirement time frame, you kind of go through this, like, okay, what's next? Like, who am I? Anyway, so sitting and listening to this book, and a friend of mine was in this network marketing company. All right. We're going to go a whole nother direction here.
Okay. Network marketing company.
Yes. It's called Beauty Counter. And so but I distinctly remember seeing her.
Like an MLM.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
I saw her on a yacht in this yellow dress. And I was like, I want to be on a yacht. in a yellow dress. I want that. And so I reach out to her. I'm like, okay, like, I'm not trying to be the Mary Kay girl. At all. Right. Like, I know, I, like, on so many levels, no. And she was very forward to me. And by the end of that conversation, and after listening to this guy curse at me in my audiobook in the bathtub, I was like, I'll give it a try. And so I invest, like, all the money, to get all the things. And within those 5 years, I ended up scaling to the top 2% of the company while working at the governor's office.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Well, and
because you were bored after 5.
I was bored after 5, before 5 and after 5. But they had this really interesting mission of, if you get to this certain point in the company, then you can go advocate in DC on behalf of the clean beauty industry. And that really motivated me. So it wasn't even about the money or the team. I mean, it was, but
let's be real. You wanted to be on the yacht.
Oh God, I wanted to be on the yacht. Like, just put me on the yacht.
Then you'll be good.
Yes. YOLO is yacht, only live once. Nope, that doesn't work. Don't. But something about like, you only live once, get on the yacht. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to DC, and it was really, it was peculiar navigating both of those lives. I felt like I was living a double life, really.
You really were.
I really was. And it bled into my personal life of me, being on vacation and having to run and operate this business, because it's kind of like you own a franchise, right? So you're having to market the franchise on your own. You're having to build that influence on your own. And so I was hosting all these events and doing all these things, but then during the day I was this other person, and they knew that I was doing that. And I had to be really careful kind of navigating those two worlds. And then honestly, I look back and I had 2 kids, right? Like, I still was a mom, I still was a wife, and I think I was fulfilled, but I was burnt out. Like, mm-hmm. I was not, there was no balance at all. And I remember getting calls from like the PTA, which I think is called the PTO, from school. And they'd be like, hey, do you want to be involved in this? Or, hey, the kids have this at school. I mean, the amount of things, I love it. Like, they want us to be involved, but I'd get so mad. I'd be like, who do they think we are? We are 2 working parents. I'd get so angry. And then they wouldn't get into aftercare. And I just would sit on the phone and just yell, like, what do you mean they didn't get into aftercare? Like, we both work. And it looking back on those times, I'm like, my gosh, I was so wound tight because I had so much going on and I didn't even realize it. And that's what I see so much now is people aren't enjoying their lives. They really aren't. They just think that they put so much pressure on themselves to like find that fulfillment and find that purpose. So fast forward to, at the end of the administration, there was the changing of the guard, and that summer before, I was like, let me try to put together this retreat. And y'all, I mean, when I tell you, for most of my life, I'm like, oh, it's simple. Let's change it up a bit. Let's make it a little chaotic.
Make it more complex. Absolutely.
Yes, let's make it more complex.
We can do more.
Well, just so I can then like try to do it. It's like it challenges me, mm-hmm. I'm like, throw me in the deep end.
Yeah.
Challenge me.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, I dare you. And so that summer I planned this retreat, but of course it couldn't just be a retreat. It was like a high-end retreat. It was like,
was it at the Hilton?
It was at a French chateau in Ponchatoula.
Okay, not the Hilton.
It was like, who even thought that there would be a French chateau in freaking Ponchatoula? It's 22 acres, stunning. And everyone was like, what in the world is Jen doing? Like,
and how did you find it?
And how did you find it? Yeah, I mean, just Airbnb. So
you can Airbnb a 22-acre French chateau.
I surely did.
In Ponchatoula.
But I didn't go through Airbnb. I went directly to the source so I could get a better deal.
We've done that before.
Sorry, Airbnb, but same thing with Uber. Get their phone number and just have them be your driver. Like, just text. Don't go through Uber. Mm. I know. All these little tidbits. So I have this retreat, but to kind of put things into perspective. So, and even I was like, something bigger than me is pulling me to do this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening, but I'm leaning in. And
do it.
And so I'm running this beauty counter business. I'm running the governor's mansion with the first lady and the foundation, because we had 2 people retire and I just absorbed their positions. So I kind of was like working 3 different positions and trying to systematically operate them efficiently. And so I was doing that. And then I start to plan this retreat. I think that there were like 8 speakers that I had. It was over 3 days. I had chefs come and do all it was just very, very elevated, wonderful, beautiful, but it was a lot of work. And so we get to December. This was 2023, 2024, whenever that was, a few years ago. We get to December, and January is really when I'm told, like, hey, we're severing your position at the governor's mansion. The new administration was like, we're not going to keep you on. So I was like, okay. And January 21st, I think, was when the retreat was. So, I mean, I literally am like, hey, you don't have a job. Here's this big retreat. And then shortly after, Beauty Counter forecloses because they got into like a bad acquisition deal.
Yeah, that happens.
And so in January, I just find myself saying, okay, what do I want my life to look like? This is the opportunity. This is the moment. And toward the tail end of the administration, they had been pulling me up on stage to like announce the governor and first lady, like welcome everybody. And everyone was like, Jen, you've got to be on stage. You've got to be on stage. You've got to be on stage. Like you've got to lean into this. And so again, I remember this so vividly that when I was told that I wasn't going to continue on in the governor's office, I wasn't necessarily sad, but I just remember bawling in my bed. And my husband was in the other room and he was like, what is wrong? I mean, I was like,
who died?
Sobbing. Yes.
Yeah, who died?
I was sobbing, and I don't normally do that. I'm just sobbing. And this is so theatrical. Okay. So it all makes sense now, but I was like, I'm shedding my old life. Okay. I'm becoming I'm rebirthing myself. This is a new era. And he was like, okay.
Tell me a little extra. I'm not going to lie. It's a little extra.
I'm dead serious. I'm just like sobbing in my bed. I was like, I'm shedding my old self. This is not going to happen again. And I was like, I'm not going to go back. And I had a few people that I was like interviewing with, and they kind of just like fizzled out. And I ran a second retreat, and then I was doing a lot of coaching through Beauty Counter and doing a lot of training with Beauty Counter because I was at such a high level that people would just bring me in on sales and visibility and operations and all that with business building. And so I was like, I have so much. I can do this. And so I hired a business coach, and they had scaled their business to multi-millions. They're out of Dallas. And I was like, I need to laterally move. I don't have time to like figure this out slowly. I need to laterally move. I need you to help me build an expert business now. And I need to start making money. I mean, I had lost two careers at one time, and I was the breadwinner for our family. I was like, I don't have time to figure this out. Like, I need to lean in, and I need to do it now. And I need you to help me understand myself so that I can help other people grow. And it was great. I'm so glad I made that investment. But I will tell you, probably 99% of people will not do what I did, right? I lost a massive amount of money and invested probably $50K, like right at the jump. But because I did that, I was able to do what I did so quickly. And I was able to help impact people quickly because I understood how I could impact them. I could help them. And I do it in a way, that's kind of why the Joyful Strategist was born, because I realized that I am really good at strategy, but that people were not implementing the strategy that I was giving them, even though we were working on it together. There was this alignment that was missing. There was this conviction that was missing. There was this like, there was this, what I call like joyful alignment that was missing. And so we do a lot of internal work. You know, when you think about business expansion, leadership expansion, 80% of it is mindset. And so you don't want to hear that, but it really is. And so we spend a lot of time understanding where the growth is coming from and why you want to grow. And as somebody who did scale and scale and scale and grow and grow and grow and was so intentional the entire time, but still got to a point where I was like, what am I doing? And was able to, I was given the chance to kind of start over. And like every day I end my day at 3 so I can pick up my kids from school.
That's because they couldn't get an aftercare.
Well, and I will say about 6 months ago, I ended up hiring a nanny for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because I was like, don't be the hero, Jen. You don't need to be the hero, you know, like, but I am so much more present for my family and for my kids and for my clients. And are there hard days? 100%. Like, it's not that when I encourage my clients and really the world to like find what brings you the most joy, like figure out what you did as a kid. If it was writing letters to throw big parties, like maybe we need to get back into that, right? Like what was the things that you did as a child that just really lit you up, and why not tap back into that now so that you can lead with more ease, you can expand with more ease. It does not mean that the bad goes away, right? Because it's all 50-50. There's good things that are going to happen and there's not so good things that are going to happen. But at least whenever you come from a space of joy and enlightenment and being able to see things a little bit clearly, then you don't stay in the negative as long. You're able to say, okay, this is going to be okay. Like, we're going to get through this. Just kind of take one step forward. And so that's how we got to where we are today.
Welcome to the brand new Falaya mobile app. We took all the same tech that's helped hundreds of people sell their homes themselves and packed it into an easy-to-use app for your phone. When you download the Falaya mobile app on either the Apple or Android App Store, you'll immediately be able to see the power of this game-changing tool. From the seller's dashboard, you can navigate to all the information that you need. We intentionally separated everything into key groups, such as tasks to be completed, buyer leads for your listing, and contact information for everyone involved through closing. When you get an offer on your property, you can simply review and respond all within the app. No matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to monitor everything that's going on with your property from listed to sold. It's truly the power of Falaya in the palm of your hand. Download the app and see for yourself. Falaya, it's real estate reimagined.
2026 in the mix.
I love it. 2026. In the mix, sharing the Genergy.
Sharing the Genergy. You didn't know what you were in for today, did you?
I didn't. This is.
Look, I'm just a pocket of sunshine over here, bringing all the Genergy.
That's what I'm saying. Your colors match, but you don't blend in.
You know what? I never did. I always thought that I was peculiar. Always. I always was like, what is wrong with me? Why don't I fit in anywhere? But I think that is a gift. Now that I look back, I think I shared with you earlier, I'm turning 40 this year. Do not feel like it at all. I'm like, wait, what? Where? Did you realize that 40 is technically over the hill?
No, I did not.
I'm upset.
40's over the hill?
Yes. I think it was at one point.
Let's say I got a grandfather who's like 87, 88, and he's still like driving himself everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I think
maybe 45 is over there.
Okay, I got 5 more years.
You got 5 more years of hill climbing.
But I think it was probably back in the day when people didn't live as long.
It's fair.
That 40 was over the hill. But I asked Siri, hey Siri, when is over the hill? And they said 40 years old. I said, no, it is not. No, it is not.
Well, what if it's from a career perspective and not a life perspective, right? So let's say on average, if you start a career in your early 20s, 20 as a rough number, and you're going to work till you're 60, 65, it's 40 years. 20 years halfway being around 40, age 40. Is a career perspective, you're over the hill.
I think you're over the hill to go up the mountain. I'm serious. Like, we are just getting started. Oh my gosh. okay.
You're at the first switchback.
So I ended up getting the 40 Under 40 award.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And they give you 5 words that you can say when you're up there on that stage.
5 words.
Now, you can say 5 words, but you can say more and do a donation to the food bank. And I just, for whatever reason, I was like, I'll do my 5 words. I ended up doing 6 and I paid for the extra one.
How dare you?
Well, how dare I not just pay for the whole minute? But I was like, no, I'm fine. And but I said, what was it? Thanks, y'all. I'm just getting started. And as I went up to that stage, I'm like, Mark, I really want to say this. Like for some reason, this is all I can think of in my head. And everybody's like, I want to thank God, or I love my family, or something like this. And I just go up there with all the confidence in the world being like, thanks, y'all. I'm just getting started. Like, who does she think she is? But I'm so glad that I said that. And then I just said it a second ago too, because I truly believe that. I think that if you're not willing to take life by the horns, and whatever that means to you, right? Like truly take control of what you can control, right? So your thoughts, your words, and your actions is the only 3 things you can control. Everything else is out of your control. And truly be intentional about your life and the people that love you and the people that you love. Like, then what's the point, right? I got to a point, this is why I kind of did that whole retreat and where this all got, all started. I just got so angry at people not realizing what they have control over and that they can get themselves out of certain situations. And I know that it's different for everybody. I really do. But I think just having somebody to be that mirror, like you might not be able to put the mirror up, but I'm going to hold it up for you. And I'm going to help you see like where your life's at and where it could be, where your career's at and where it could be. And like, where is that gap? And like, let's get there together. And that's one of the most fulfilling pieces of the work that I get to do, is to have people reflect back and be like, wow, I didn't realize how bad it was. Or, oh, I didn't realize how much I could grow just by somebody telling me like, hey, move this way, shave this off, don't do this, do this. And I'm so grateful that I trusted that intuition and I trusted that instinct, and that I finally said, okay, this is phase 3. Like, this is how I look at it. Phase 1 was like my acting career. Phase 2 was my leadership career. And now I'm in phase 3, which is like blending the 2 together. And I literally, like when I first did my first keynote, I really hadn't been on stage in years, but I just was like, oh yeah, great, fantastic. Like I just I leaned in. I just leaned in, and I actually just got, so I'm writing a book called Joy in the Chaos and producing a podcast that'll go along with it.
Fantastic.
Really, really cool. It was really important to me to do this before my 40th birthday. So everything is going to be launching by this summer, which I gotta go write my book. So, and I'm already booking keynotes for next spring, which is pretty cool. Like that are incredible. In alignment with the book. But a lot of it I have to thank my business coach for. I mean, she is a multi TEDx speaker, multi book author. She's written several best-selling books, and so it was important to me to connect with somebody who had been where I wanted to go. So she could do for me what I do for the people that I get to work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really cool.
Well, it's exciting to see what you got upcoming. You got a wonderful year ahead of you. But before we get you out of here, we do have a set list of questions we ask every guest.
Okay, let's go.
So first one is, what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Jump off of high diving boards.
Okay. That's a good one.
I remember
Why can't you still do it?
I'm so scared. I don't know if it's so irrational. I have these certain fears that have crept up as I've gotten older, maybe because I'm a parent. I'm not really sure. But like driving on the interstate is one of them. I don't know. I have gotten this severe fear of driving on the interstate. I can make the craziest, biggest business decisions, but just these tiny little things. I think because it's not in my control, like people around me, I just don't trust them. And then at summer camp, I used to jump off of the high diving board, do flips, all these things into lakes. You will not catch me in a lake. I'm like, I don't know what's down there. It's like, it's out of my control. If it's clear, that's a whole nother story. But if it's something I can't see, I don't know if my foot is going to get tangled. It's just irrational. And I have to tell myself, Jen, you're being irrational. Get in the lake. Just put your feet.
Yeah, just
get on the
put your toes in. Just get in there.
Just if you're going to New Orleans, it's not a big deal.
You'll be all right.
You'll be okay.
I love that. What are 3 lessons you've learned along the way?
Show up when you say you're going to show up. That builds an immense amount of trust. Love deeply and be open to being loved deeply. My husband changed my life. He changed my whole concept of what it is to be loved and how to give love. And I'm very grateful for that. And I would say the third is, don't be afraid to do things a little bit differently, even if it's not the way everybody else is doing it. Like, it's okay. It's your own path. I look at it as like parenting advice. Like, you're going to get so much parenting advice. You're going to read so many books. You're going to be told like you really need to have a plan. But I think the scariest part is that it's your plan. It's what's good for your life, for your business. And it's going to be different than the person next to you. And so if somebody's giving you advice or sharing with you a way to do something, like, just take the nuggets that work for you in your particular story, even if it doesn't look like the person to your left or your right.
Yep. So what is something you love about Baton Rouge?
I love that I have family here. That's the number one. I love that I have family here. I also love how fast it's growing. Like, it's becoming progressive quickly. I love the art scene. I love that there are so many different people here that I don't think realize that are here. Meaning, you look at Baton Rouge and you think, okay, college town.
Right.
And then there's these little pockets of like leadership groups, or these little pockets of philanthropy groups. And then you have these people who are here for work, or because they've been brought into a family, or you have these little like odds and ends kind of people. And when they find each other and they find their community, it's what happened with me when I first got here. And it was really magical. There's just something about Baton Rouge in particular that I think a lot of people miss. And there's just this really nice foundational like love and joy within the community. I think that people get lost in what isn't happening, or what isn't happening as quickly. And remember, like, what is in your control? Your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So like, find your people, enjoy your life here, try to make an impact the best that you can here. And the rest will work itself out the way that it works out.
Yeah. Do what you can to control what you're able to.
Correct.
And let the chips fall as they may.
Correct. Absolutely. And if you feel so compelled, get involved. There are so many opportunities for involvement here. And what I've noticed is the people that are willing, ready, and able are the people that are going to get the seat at the table. Like I got a seat on boards pretty quickly. I was able to make an impact pretty quickly. That's what I wanted moving from LA and previously Austin. I looked at this city. I was like, I can be a big fish in a small pond here versus a small fish in a big pond.
Yep.
But you have to be ready, willing, and able to do the work that comes along with that. So if you have that passion in your heart to like make a difference, make a change, tons of organizations that you can be a part of to do that. And they're very simple and easy to get into. And I found that just people are so open to sharing how they got to where they are today. And so if you want to make an impact, it's pretty simple to do that here. Yeah.
And you're within 1 or 2 connections of everybody.
Correct. Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Final question. What can I do to help you?
Promote my book. Promote my book. Be a guest on my podcast. Honestly, just being here today, being able to share this message has been a huge gift. And I thank you so much. And I thank Angela, if you're listening, for introducing us. She was actually in the audience when that flip chart story happened. And so thank you for introducing us, Angela, if you're listening. But I think helping promote the book and helping to remind people that the definition of enjoy is to make or create joy. And so you have to be intentional about making or creating the joy in your life if you want to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
And so just spreading that. I mean, my mission is to touch as many people as possible, maybe not, physically, but, emotionally, mentally, and let them know, like, your life, you're meant to enjoy it. And so how can we take you out of this tangled mess, which I am so good at? How can we take you out of that tangled mess and untangle it and get you back into a sustainable place where you actually feel better? You can see yourself scaling, but you're not as tied up in the things that really don't matter, that aren't in alignment with you. So just helping to spread the word on that as well. I think if we can work together, then we can impact more people.
Absolutely. We'll do what we can.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time today.
Patty, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
Of course. Thank you, everybody else, for listening or watching. We will see you here next week for a new episode of the Patty G Show. And remember to be joyful. Awesome.